But either way, what I will say is this, man. You see the shirt? When you go to the Red Planet?
It's sick. As soon as I opened the door, I was like, right? Damn, bro.
You come back. You know what this is called? This is called Universal Love. Universal Love. And it's through our people over at Into the AM, man. Shout out to them, man, providing the shirt. I know you got some content as well. Some dope little, Into the AM products, man. Super good feel on them. I absolutely love them. But like I said, man, because I like to frequent out of space every once in a while.
Which way is he going? Is he coming back or is he?
Oh, man, he's definitely going up. Okay. This is wake and bake.
Okay.
Some people are like, oh, man, they got to get on the back end. He's coming back down to earth. No. This dude is taking off. Yeah. He said, man, look, I don't care if you're on the West Coast and it's 6 a.m. I don't care if you're on the East Coast and it's 9 a.m. I don't care where you're at. When it's into the a.m., because y'all know what's in the a.m., y'all see what we doing right here. You got to be ready to wake and bake.
It doesn't even look like he's got a rocket ship. Like,
Not at all, man.
He's just got some blasters attached to his feet, and he's going straight from Earth, man, up to space.
I love it, bro. I love it. But also, you know how we do, right? We're not talking about you unless we got something to give to you or something for you. So, promo code, there it is, right? www.intotheam.com/moats10, and you'll get 10% off of your purchases on Into the AM's website, man. So shout out to them for that, providing the dope shirts. Yes, indeed. And just keeping it with the theme because, that's how we rock. And I do like the fact that they like to talk about, or they like to support content creators like us who have a nice connection with their crowd, which we do. We got to talk about this UFC 265 pay-per-view fight, baby.
Yeah.
Derrick Lewis versus Ciryl. Gone. I liked it, man. It was fun to watch, man. For me, I was kind of torn because I'm a big Derrick Lewis fan, just because I like how he moves the needle, right? When he talks, we know he's going to say something crazy. He has all the sound bites, all the clips. And typically when he does finish guys, it's in spectacular fashion. Now, is he limited? Sure. But we know that, man, he's a guy that has continued to progress.
Out 5 seconds left.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I think of him, I do think he's improved since like earlier on where he was just kind of just reckless. Now, at least we saw in the Curtis Blades fight, which was a previous fight where he was more calculated. He's going to wait to set up that one shot. Even though we know that shot was coming, he was like, going to be a little more patient this time. But with Ciryl Gane, man, dude's skilled, crazy talented. In terms of a heavyweight fighter, moves more like a smaller weight fighter, middleweight, welterweight, just in terms of bounce on his toes, high volume output. Typically, you don't see that at the heavyweight rank. But man, my dude looked the part, bro. He looked the part and outclassed him, man. It was just from start to finish, man. I just thought that he was the clear-cut better fighter, man. It was good to see.
Well, it's funny because I came in here and I watched the highlights before we jumped on here because, one, it's not McGregor. I'll be honest with you. We've talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
There's only certain fights that I'm really tuning into unless someone has the fight. I'm just randomly going to their house and it's on. So there was that. Also, it was my birthday, so I just had I had no pocket awareness of really what was going on that night.
That was the thing. I wanted to hit you up to say you like, yo, because I remember you said you're a Derrick Lewis guy. You're like, yo, I'll watch him
because I did see a few fights of him, and it was like 2 or 3 of them where he's just getting smoked, but then it's in the last
he's
round.
Gonna land a shot. Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, I did not expect this at all. But
then it was your birthday. I was like, yo, he's inebriated. He better be at least. So yeah, I'm not even gonna hit him up right now.
But no, I'm watching the highlights and it did look like you mentioned outclass. Yeah. It did look like Gane. It's French, right? So Gane is his name, not Gane. He just had control of it. Now in the highlights, they showed Derrick Lewis and Gane's hit count probably being much about the same. I'm like, dude, this was pretty equal in the first 2 rounds, huh? And you're like, no, the totals were like 99 Gane to Lewis's like 8.
Yes,
so they probably only showed Lewis's 8 hits, and then they just showed a couple of Gane's hits.
Yeah.
But then he just dominated in that third.
He definitely did, man. The leg kicks. Like I said, he was a smart fighter. Vegas, and this is the thing I like about Vegas, they were smart in terms of how they set the odds too, because Lewis wasn't the favorite, but perception-wise, Lewis was the favorite because of it being in his hometown, pay-per-view. He's the headliner. He's the one that sold the fight.
And Gane doesn't have as much experience.
Correct. Right? Or at least in the UFC, he doesn't. Right. So we knew that all those things would kind of play into it. But Gane on paper was the better fighter. You watch Gane in previous fights, like, yo, Gane, he fights in a way that none of those heavyweights. Now, Francis Ngannou, he showed a little bit more calculated approach, but his output still wasn't like what Gane's was. I mean, we hope that a guy like John Jones will come up and fight like that. Stipe Miocic, who was the heavyweight champ for a while, he just got knocked out by Francis. He fought kind of similar to that, but still that output, man, that is crazy for a guy that big, man. And it was for the interim belt, so he technically is a champ right now, man. The intern champ.
What's the deal with Adesanya? Is he in the same heavy?
No.
Same
so
class?
he's too light for them. Yeah, he's lighter than those guys. He's 2 classes down for them. This is the heavyweight. So this is
top
like
notch.
I said, where Francis is, the current champ at. Obviously, Stipe Miocic was the champ there. Daniel Cormier, he fought up there, champ there as well. John Jones, we're anticipating him having a fight soon, hopefully, right? Hopefully. But even now, that changes things because, if you're Gane or Ngannou, y'all fight next. You got the champ versus the intern champ. Y'all got to get it in.
I need that. When's that happen, you think?
Oh, man, let's see, it's what, August now? If we're lucky, December? I don't know, though. I would hope, but I don't think it's going to happen. Not that soon. Right. I would love for it to be like later this year, though.
So in the comments, people are wishing me happy birthday. Thank you for that.
Yeah, man.
Moats for comeback. What was CPO? Is comeback player of the year? I don't know. What's he saying?
I don't want to come back anywhere. No. I'm just glad that my PTSD is, when I go to Hinesville for training camp, it's a lot lighter now because I'm not at Latrobe. If I was going to Latrobe, every day I go up, I would start sweating. At least now I'm kind of like my heart flutters, but I don't sweat as much, so I'm growing. But yeah, don't come back me anyway. I don't want to come back. Please don't. But bat300_, you're right. Ciryl Gane and Francis Ngannou did used to spar together. And it's funny, like when you watch them spar, it's close, man. Like
similar
now, granted,
styles?
Yeah, well, because they're both of the, I guess I can call this the new wave of heavyweights right now, where they're a little bit more athletic and showing more versatility, right? But yeah, you see Ciryl Gane in these clips, and it's multiple clips that they have where they're going back and forth sparring, and Ciryl looks good. But I also wonder, because Francis was the bigger name during those times, if Ciryl is taking it a little bit easier because you don't, I'm not going to go crazy hard. That's his camp. Now, I don't know whose camp it was, who was supposed to be preparing for a fight. But if you're preparing for a fight and I'm here to help you, if we're sparring, I'm not going to try and kick your butt, right? Now, if this is my fight and you're coming to help me, well, yeah, I'm gonna get the better of you. I'm gonna make sure that I'm winning that. So that was the other part where I'm like, I don't know the full context of those clips, but that is definitely something that's gonna be interesting, man.
G. Alexander just said Derrick Lewis straight set himself up. He was trying to conserve energy and was not throwing any punches. Derrick Lewis is the best of the bottom tier talent.
Ooh, well,
Ciryl will not beat the top tier talent.
Now, this is where I think we differ. I do agree, though, in terms of Derrick Lewis being the best of the, when he says bottom end talent, I think the biggest thing is kind of like what we said about
Cowboy.
Yeah, essentially, like, wins a ton of fights, but when it's time for that big fight to win the belt, something always happens. And that's kind of what is looking like with Derrick Lewis and why he's been where he's at and why Ngannou is where he's at. Ngannou has shown up in these bigger fights and has been able to ultimately get himself the belt. Whereas with Derrick, sells a fight, will win a ton of regular fights, but when it's time to really go, that type of stuff happens. Now, I could definitely see that, what you were talking about, though, in terms of him conserving himself and setting himself up like that. But that goes back to, you need to be in better shape. If you can't throw more than a couple punches around, that's an issue. But, and I said this in my video yesterday while I was talking about the fight, I am actually glad that Gane looked as good as he did, because it puts the pressure back on these bigger heavyweights to actually develop more skill. Don't just be a one-punch knockout artist, because once you don't land that one punch, what else are you going to do? That's what John Jones has been constantly talking about with the guys that he's fought at light heavyweight and why he's so confident going to heavyweight. He's like, he feels like his output is there. He feels like those guys are only one-punch knockout artists, and he typically does a good job of controlling the distance, like we saw with Gane. Gane was eating Derrick Lewis's lead leg up, and now he can't move the way he wants to, and he can't lead into that power right hand that he wants to throw. Those are the things that smart fighters do to control that, especially versus power fighters like that. So I do think Gane will be interesting going forward. I don't think that this is a one-time thing and Gane's never going to, compete to really win the belt. I think that he definitely stands a chance against against Ngannou. I think he stands a chance against Stipe. I like him in all. I think he's legitimate in all of those fights, man.